Hey there. I'm going to be going over the Bay Ridge Brooklyn real estate market numbers. I will cover single family homes, condos, and co-ops, which are sometimes referred to as apartments on the different graphs. These numbers are supplied by the National Association of Realtors Property Resource Data, and they deserve some interpretation. So that's what we're going to do here. They do not include any listings that are not on multiple listing services, regardless of which multiple listing service it is. So if someone has a house for sale by owner and you say, gee, I know that house is on the market and in contract for such and such, well, we wouldn't pick that up until the end when it ends up getting recorded as a sold property down at the clerk's office. Also not included here are any multifamily homes, or if you gave a listing to a real estate broker and they kept it as an office exclusive, which you would have signed off on but perhaps weren't aware of, then that might possibly not be on multiple listing service. It just depends on whether they put it there or not. And the reason why they might not put it there is if they want to try to just keep it, like I said, as an office exclusive and not share the listing with other real estate brokers, which in my opinion is not necessarily in the best interest of the seller. Maybe the seller for some reason doesn't want anybody to know about it, so they say to a broker, well, just try to get it sold, but don't let anybody really know. So that's what that's about. If you want to find out when we have new videos coming up, just subscribe, and if you could like it, it makes me feel better about all the work I'm putting into doing these videos. And in the comments, if you could put in if you want a particular tour of Brooklyn or any other information about Brooklyn, I'm happy to try to create videos for those things that people are asking for. So let's get started, okay? So as you could see here, the months of inventory are at 7.62%. That is down about 20.54%. What does that mean? That means that the lower the months of inventory are, the better it is for sellers. And so as you can see, the list to sold prices here are at 98.4%, meaning that whatever price someone is listing their property for, the sold price is very close to it. So that means that people are not being unrealistic and overpricing a house for sale. Additionally, you could see that the days on the market are at 38 days, which is down about 51.28% month over month. And again, that's good because the less days, well, good for a seller. The less days that a property is on the market, the better off they will be. And understand that interest rates had been down a little bit lately, so that could be contributing to the fact that things are staying on the market for less time. That does not make it as good for buyers. When interest rates are higher and there are less buyers, you have less competition. As a buyer, you can negotiate better. As interest rates start to come down a little, and the Fed Chair Powell did mention that the interest rates might be coming down a little bit in the second quarter. So that might mean that we'll have more buyers coming to the market in the spring, probably more sellers looking to possibly sell at that time as well. But that creates even more competition because now people will be fighting to get the home that they choose. Some of the mortgage people I talk to love to use the phrase, marry the house, not the rate. But to be realistic, you don't know if you'll be able to refinance. Refinancing a mortgage is different from when you make a purchase in the beginning. There are a lot of costs that go into doing that. With values as high as they are, closing costs can be a lot of money, even though you might do something called the SEMA. If you don't know what that is, feel free to give me a call and I'll give you a little bit of an education on that as well. The median estimated value is at $1,173,960. This number is made up of single families, condos, townhouses, apartments, which are usually co-ops, And what this means here is it's down ever so slightly month over month, 1.7%. However, in looking at the prices and when I get to the number of houses sold, I can tell that there were a number of co-ops or condos possibly that was sold, because those are usually a little less in value, actually substantially less than if you were to buy a house in Bay Ridge. So I think that's also contributing to that number. I don't know that you could necessarily get a one family house at that price range. Remember that that is an average. It's based on actual sold prices of homes. And so you could see that year over year, Bay Ridge is down. We're almost at the 5% mark as far as values in properties. It's down 4.9%. And on this chart here, you'll see that New York City at one point on average dropped a little bit below the Bay Ridge market. And then when we look at Bay Ridge as compared to the rest of Brooklyn, New York, you could see that Bay Ridge is higher. And then the bottom line, which is a red line, is for New York State, and New York State is lower in value on average overall than Kings County, Brooklyn, and definitely lower than the Bay Ridge area. New listings are a good indication of what is happening in the current month, and we can see that more people have listed their homes. It is up 17.3% month over month. So that shows that when the interest rates come down a little, because they've been much higher for the last 2 years than they've been, let's say, in the last 5 years, that people are now beginning to put houses back on the market. Plus, we're getting into the season where people will start to look at houses if they are intending to move and have school children. They want to move before the next season starts, and they may have to fix up a house a little bit, etc. So we don't have new construction for the most part here in Brooklyn. There's some, but a lot of the new construction is for condominiums, not single family homes. The median list price for a single family home, condo, or co-op is at $1,113,000. It's down a little bit month over month, 2.1%. So that is possibly good for buyers. Sometimes, though, if you're working with a real estate agent, we might advise you to price it a little bit below where the market is so that you get eyeballs on your property. And then if there is enough competition, you might get more than what that was listed at. But in general, you want to be not over the average market value when you list the property, because the more days that it stays on the market, people then start to wonder what's wrong. Is there an issue? So you need to price a property right when you're selling. And if you're looking to buy, you need to be looking at stuff on a regular basis, because once a property pops up, it's only staying on the market for an average of 38 days in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. So that is another thing that you have to take into consideration if you really want that particular property. We have new pending listings here, and what this means is a pending listing is a listing that is in contract. It has not closed yet, and it says that it's up 61.6% month over month. I believe that's because the prior month, this is January data, so the prior month of December data, there were more co-ops sold in that month. So a house is worth more, and when you average them all together, that average is up. So you have to be careful when you're looking at the numbers. You can't just look at it, and if you don't have the experience background to know what caused that number to go up, you might think that the houses are being overinflated, but that is not the case. It's interesting to look and see when we compare the sold listings to those new pending listings, we could see that the actual public record sold price is $1,102,000. Also, understand when you're looking at those other pending numbers, those numbers do not include for sale by owner. They do not necessarily include a brokerage that might have that listing as an office exclusive where it's not on the multiple listing services. These stats are brought to us by National Association of Realtors. We use their Realtors Property Resource data, and this is data made available to people who pay the additional yearly fees to be members of National Association of Realtors. Not all real estate agents are members. They do hold us to a higher level of ethics and standards, and so being part of that organization also helps to bring you information on what is happening in the market, changes that are coming about, and there are quite a number of changes, some coming about in the month of March, which will be a very big concern for homeowners looking to sell their property. So check in with me. There'll be a video out probably by the end of March. We're still getting a lot more feedback. I am intending to attend some continuing education classes just on specifically the homeowner warranty. And if you don't know what that is, stay tuned. It's going to be very important to know about. As I mentioned earlier, we're at 7.62 months of inventory in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, which month over month is down 20.5%. As I mentioned earlier, properties are only staying on the market in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn about 38 days. Year over year, that number is down 26.7%. So what that means and what you need to understand, if you are a buyer, things are changing and it is becoming more of a seller's market, whereas it's been a buyer's market. If you could afford the mortgage, you were able to negotiate a little bit more price-wise. Now what's happening as interest rates have come down a little bit, there's more buyers, you have less negotiating power as a buyer if you have more people competing. And all you need really is to have a couple of people competing, and that has a lot to do with what that property will sell for. If you like this video and the information provided, please feel free to like it. Please, I really appreciate when you do that. Subscribe to the channel so you'll get notifications when various videos come out, and hope to see you soon. Thank you. If you need to get any additional help, here's my information. That QR code will allow you to book a 15-minute call with me. There is no fee for that call. You can ask me whatever questions you like. If for some reason I don't have an answer, I would certainly get you one. Annette Fisher, helping people in the Bay Ridge community buy and sell houses. Give me a call. Thank you.